Some periods of time in our life are just weird. I mean, time seems to speed up. Cliche though it is, I hardly navigate myself amidst the haze. The unexpected things just keep happening, one by one that tries me off the route that I'm on. Ain't nothing I can do rather than facing with reality. I think it's weird because it's not comfortable to see everything out of my plan. But at the same time, I learn a lot about myself. I learn a lot more things that I did before. And when I look at this, I may not grow in my career life goals, but at least I grow as a person. Looking back, the last time I fell into this situation was 8 years ago. At that time, I had just graduated from university and had a stable job in a newspaper for 4 years. The path at the time seemed quite clear, try to become an official reporter. But something inside me felt that I couldn't go that route. I do it well, but is it the path I'm passionate about and see myself doing the next year? I'm not sure. Then I decided to take a break for a year to figure out what I wanted to do. I traveled around, attended conferences, tried things I never thought I would do, and went to new places for the first time. During this year, I watched each of my friends have official jobs and promoted while trying to figure out what I really wanted. I worried, but also believed everyone has their own timeline. I started my first full-time job almost 2 years behind people of the same age. But from that uncertainty, I found what I'm really passionate about. One of those things is living abroad. Fast forward to 8 years later, I'm here in Europe. I took the risk of moving halfway across the world at the age of 28, finding a new career path in a new market when I'm almost 30. Once again, I stood apart from the usual transitions and milestone my friend who got married, had kids, bought a house, and settled in. Since coming back to Europe from a joyful trip back home early this year, I stepped into the new strange spiral. One by one, it deviated from the plan I had drafted. The projects that I was supposed to start was also suddenly postponed. I had to move house and experiences the feeling of carrying 80 kilograms of luggage by myself for 3 trains. Everything happened in succession made me wonder if I was so risky to choose this path. I used to doubt myself, question my ability, used to feel lost. Even when you are about to turn 30 with years of experience, when you think you are completely lucid, you can have a crisis. We often talk about a crisis in our 20 or 30, but I think, what age can't be in crisis? It just happened. Instead of constantly taking new steps in my career, life forced me to take a step back. At first, I tried to resist it. I sped up to do things to get myself out of the unwanted situation. But that time passes, I slowed down, took a closer look with a broader perspective. I think those other things that have to happen in my life are part of my journey. During the chaotic yet explorative months, there are 4 important things I've learned and surely carry out in the next step of my life. First, when admitting failure, I questioned myself. If my effort matched what I wished for, of course, I do what I should do. I give what a company or school asks. But the thing is it enough? Is it match the expected level? Are there any more things I can do to surpass the expectation? When we are in the comfort zone, doing the right thing may enough. But at my age, showing the ability that matches the required job seniority is the things I need to stick with. If you fight for a top-class student scholarship at school, you need to show your academic ability and try to get the highest score. But if you want to reach a higher international master fully funded scholarship, You must work harder on not only your score, but also your CV, motivation, interview, and so on. So if we dare to dream, we must dare to do everything we could imagine to make it work, and dare to see ourselves in the bigger picture. Second, deal with regret. Of course, we always find ourselves wiser than we were yesterday, because everything has happened and we saw the result of the choices. It's so easy to beat myself up that I should have done more than that. I did many times. The bad thing is, when I look back, I will have something to regret that I can't do better. But the good thing is, I'm better. It's totally fine to look back, but never be immersed in it. Looking back, I know that if I had done some different things a few months ago, I might be in a different position now. But if I haven't experienced it, how do I know that the choice I believe in will be against me? At least I know that I'm getting better after those failures. Without it, I will probably continue to do it the same way. Then I will fail at some point in the future, maybe even worse. So accepting everything that comes with an open mind is really important to me now. Next thing is, if I think something is easy, it will be. But if I say it's hard from the beginning, it will happen the same ways. It seems obviously, but I recognize thinking that it would be difficult to overcome. I mentally prepared for the difficulty. It affects the way I approach and solve problems. The truth is that I've been interviewed for positions that I think are beyond my level, rather than positions that I consider to be on par with what I have. If at first I thought it was too difficult not to try, I don't know how far I've come. Another thing is, maybe what I think would be the solution to my problem will soon help me recognize my problem clearly. I had a very confusing and unpredictable period. I have come up with a lot of solutions and my personality wants to take quick action and see the results. But half of it made me realize that I was repeating. I was so desperate to do something different without knowing that I was still taking a detour. The problem is, this state is no longer relevant if I think of the old way that used to make me successful. I'm not doing it wrong, I just need a strong revision. Realizing that helps me to change, to systematize what I'm doing, reposition where I want to go, and determine what other changes I need. Difficult times like this are not pleasant because I feel like walking in the middle of the forest without knowing when there will be an exit. But at the same time, it's also opened up direction that I never thought possible. Maybe I will not go against the old direction to go out, but instead jump down the cliff to the new land. Who knows? I haven't been completely positive for the whole time. I've allowed myself to go through all the emotions I should have. But in the end, the only path that can be taken is to move forward. I'm not going this far to give up. I told myself that hundreds of times.